Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Welcome, everyone. I am so excited that you're back with us today, and I have such a powerhouse in the house, Miss Jill Lublin. Yay! Hey, Jill. Oh my gosh, y'all are going to be blown away, as you are with all my guests, but this one is specifically amazing. So Jill will just like, oh, you won't wait to get to know her. Follow her on all the social media, follow her on her website, because this is a woman who not only knows what she's talking about, she is so incredibly nice. So that's the kind of people I like to hang with. So today I wanted to kind of go over a little bit, I give you a tip every time. And, I was just speaking to this lovely young man, and he kept saying the words that drive me nuts. But Tonya, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I need to make money, but I'm not ready. I need to get money coming in so I can go do. Oh, I'm not ready. I mean, everything was making him stop. So are you doing that for yourself? Are you keeping yourself from making the success that really you deserve? Because you're the only one who has that ability to say, I am going to do it, even if everything isn't perfect, even if I'm not even prepared for it all, even if I'm so nervous and my fear level is up to here, I'm still going to do it. And that's how I've gotten to where I am. And Jill is probably could tell you about her journey too. So we'll just push right over to that. So Jill, tell me a little bit about you, and have you gone through things like that where you're like, ah?
Yeah, Tonya, first of all, thank you. I love being with you always. You're amazing. And, it's interesting to me about I'm not ready. Can I just say, are we ever fully ready? It's like people want to have children. I'm serious. I was talking to my driver last night coming home from a speech, and he goes, yeah, we want to have children. And he came up with all these things. He goes, well, I don't know if we're ready. He goes, but, we'll never be exactly ready. Same thing with your world, your publicity. The truth is you got to start where you start, and then we evolve. In other words, I hope that you're always up leveling, up shifting. But the truth is you've got to start where you start. I think we've always, all of us, me too, have felt, I'm not ready, I'm scared. Before my first book, Guerrilla Publicity, I was scared. My second book, my third book, I'm always scared. Come on, let's be honest. Yeah. We're human. But what I've learned, I'm sure you do too, Tonya, we just do it no matter what. We make it up as we go along to some extent. And the truth is, when you know your publicity and your message and you get clearer and clearer, that will just keep going. And I think and we all know that you're never exactly perfect. Let's just start where we start, shall we?
And you never want to be perfect. It's about being relatable. And too many people perfect themselves right out of a job, right out of their business.
Exactly. So we start where we start. And here's what I want to offer just as a really important tip is create your message where you are right now. And to think of your publicity, which is really our theme today, like your gardening process, and you be seeding and and you keep going where you go, So I think that's really a key, is that you start where you start right now, and that you don't have to be perfect. And Tonya, I'm sure you can agree, done is better than perfect, right?
I thought to be a speaker, I had to be all, make sure that I didn't say and didn't make sure that, I remembered what I was going to say, and I had perfect memorized presentation. And then once I gave all of that up and just be me, everything started to explode, right? Because now I was authentic to my own self, and I wasn't trying to pretend to be someone that I wasn't,
Exactly. And not only that, but, the truth is that we are evolving. Our message evolves. So I want you to think of your publicity, yourself, your growth like a garden. And so we're going to plant the seeds where you are right now, and that's perfect. And then you are going to bloom in the right time. And then we're going to plant some seeds they're going to bloom later, right, Tonya? You and I make plans for 90 days ahead. We make plans for a year ahead, let's say. And, you know, after 5 years, just forget about it. I don't want to think about it. But I do think, and I think this is really important. So write this down. I want you to think of your, especially your publicity, in 3, 6, and 9 month increments. And so you're thinking ahead, you know, and I think that's really key. I mean, Tonya, you've got a great conference coming up, right? You've been planning ahead. How long now for that?
A year.
That's right, a year ahead. And then there's some things you're going to do at the 9 month mark, at the 6 month mark, at the 3 month mark, at the week ahead of, and that's how we keep doing life, right? So we're looking ahead, and we're also dealing with what we are right now.
And we also take the information that we learned from the last one. What do we need to tweak, and what worked great, you know? And it is about tweaking each time.
There you go. Tweaking, making better, but really not being perfect, and that's okay. And that sharing our story is what matters. And, you know, and dealing with what's up for you right now is what matters. And I think that's really a key. So one of the things I'm really big on is use every part of your life. You know, for getting in media, you want to use what's happening right now for you in your life, and what could be happening for the future. So keep looking at everything you've got going on, you know, and what's real in your life and how it relates to what's happening in the news. Always be looking. Always be looking.
I know I've gone to a lot of your seminars and your trainings that you do for people. And every time it just breaks it down to simple things that people need to know, right? And that's what I love about you. It's not a bunch of fluffy cloud things. It's real information that people can take away. And that's why I asked you to be one of the speakers at the conference. Again, because people are like, oh, Jill is amazing. I need to have her back. I want to learn more. And that's what's great, is putting people around you that have that expertise. Did you find getting into publicity, did you know that's the direction, or is it just kind of something you're like, I'm really good at this?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I actually went to law school for a year, and I was going to be an attorney, and I always wanted to be an attorney all my life. And then, well, I got to law school. And any of you who might have been to, you know, graduate school of any type, but especially law school, I'm a very highly creative person. And that's what makes me great at what I do now, because I'm highly creative, and I think I'm good at creating messages for people. But when it comes to a law book, now that's another story, kind of cut and dry, if you know what I mean. Right. So I remember being in law school thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do to get through this? And I started working in the music business. And I started working in promotion and for music business attorneys that were pretty famous, who worked for pretty famous people you would have heard of. And it was a great experience. And then what I discovered was my true talent, which is publicity and promotion. And I actually dropped out of law school, much to my father's chagrin, who said, now what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And he said, really, what is that, and how do you spell it? And, you know, Tonya, I mean, you and I both know being an entrepreneur, right? It's a journey, right? You've got a journey, correct?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, even my father, because I got an English degree, right? And he was like, oh, where are you going to go teach? I'm like, teach? I don't want to teach English. Right. I want to go have a business. And he's like, what are you talking about? You got an English degree.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, my joke is with my dad, you know, I'm still learning what entrepreneurialism is, but I do know how to spell it now. and you know what I've learned the most about being an entrepreneur is that publicity and media is actually what drives your prospects, what brings you credibility, what gets people knowing your name in the marketplace, and what gets people understanding who you are and what your message is. See, that's really what's so key. Because, you know, frankly, if you want a great way to get prospects and get more business, publicity is your key. I have to tell you, Tonya, I was in Phoenix doing a speaking engagement Saturday, and this woman comes up to me and she goes, Jill, I am so excited you're here, and I want you to know I came because you're here, because what I know is it doesn't matter what I do in the world. These were all professional speakers, right? You'll love that. and it was for the National Speakers Association, which is a wonderful association. And it's interesting. She said, Jill, I'm such a believer in this, because what I know is that I can go speak all over the world, but if nobody knows about me, what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah, you got it, right? You've had to build your name recognition, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, and it's even interesting because I was just on the front cover of the NSA CAPS, the Canadian magazine. So here I am, what most people think of the Public Speakers Association as we're competition with NSA. But I always look at it, we're collaborators. And if we can help each other, that's what it's all about. And here I am, on the front cover of their magazine. It shows how the world is so connected, and it's all your mindset, how you want to look at it. Are you going to look at everything in a negative? Oh, they're my competition, I don't want to talk to them. Or do you want to collaborate with people?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, because I know you're such a collaborator and such about cooperation, right? And I really think there is room for everything and everyone in the world, right? And I love the fact that you got publicity on the front cover of a national publication, and I think that's brilliant. The other thing is you want to always, what I call, publicize your publicity. And I think it's just great that you're on the top front of an association, yay. And so you want to always be publicizing your publicity. And this goes for everyone, right?
Yes.
Be thinking about, what are you getting out there? And that could be, maybe you're in a local Rotary club, and maybe you were featured in their newsletter. So then what are you doing? So that's my question to you. Then what are you doing? It's like, Tonya, you talked about the guy getting ready at the beginning. You're never exactly quite ready, but let's start wherever you start, shall we? And start at whatever place you're ready to start. Don't you think, Tonya? I mean, haven't you really seen that with your business, that you have to start wherever you are?
Well, and a lot of times people they think that they have to have certain things in place in order to do something. So like becoming nominated for an award, even for the Collaborator of the Year award with the Public Speakers Conference coming up, anybody can nominate themselves, or, switch back and forth. Hey, Jill, you nominate me, I'll nominate you, that kind of thing. And now you can use that nomination for, even if you don't win, you can use it for marketing purposes and PR, and use that to get into newspapers and stuff. Say, hey, here's a local person nominated. But most people don't do that, right?
That's right. And this is actually one of the exact things we cover at the publicity course, which I know you've been to, the crash course in publicity. Here's a big tip for you. We actually create what's called an announcement, which is exactly what Tonya is telling you to do. And it's really just a 4-sentence simple way that you're going to say you won the Collaborator of the Year award, or like Tonya, that you were recently featured on a national magazine. Actually, in your case, you would say international magazine, right? And so we always want to be promoting everything that happens to us. And you can do this through what's called an announcement, and you write up 4 sentences and you send it out to your local paper, but just particularly a section called People in the News. And this is just so easy in terms of a real simple formula. Those of you who end up joining me at my publicity crash course, we actually write it in the course, yay! So keeping it really, really simple. And the really simple formula is 4 sentences that go out to your local daily paper and the local business journal. And there is a particular section called People in the News. That's the very short form of how to do it, and a great tip for you for how to create free news. And Tonya, you're going to go do that now for your announcement, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yay!
Or just hire to do it. Sometimes you just hire people that are fabulous to do things.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's good too. But also, I'm really big on, I wrote the book Guerrilla Publicity, so I think it's really key to have, shall we say, simple things that you can keep at your fingertips in a guerrilla publicity kind of way. And one of the things that I'm really big on teaching is use like the name of your coaching programs, your association, your speeches, what you talk about. Use them in your introductions, for instance. Tonya, I know you've been in my publicity course. Have you been able to integrate that a little more? Do you want to give them an example of how to do that?
Oh my gosh. Brought so much away, even elevator pitches, because nobody knows how to give a great elevator pitch, is how to simplify it so that people get what you're trying to tell them instead of all the fluffy stuff that takes up room and then doesn't get you booked, right?
Right. Right, exactly. So one of the things I'm really big on is integrate your name. When I say your name, your company name, your coaching program, what you speak about, your speech names, try integrating them into your elevator pitches. It makes a huge difference and gives people something more to remember you by.
Exactly. I know my new book coming out is Own Your Fabulousness. And I use that as my titles. It's all connected. So when I talk about it, it makes it an easy, this is everything that I do all in one simple phrase, right?
Exactly. So Tonya, in your case, for instance, here's a great tip for you, just to remind you, and also, as a great example to your listeners and viewers. So in her case, it's called Own Your Fabulousness, right?
Own Your Fabulousness.
Right. So here's what I do for you in coaching you. I'd say, here's a great way to own your fabulousness. And Tonya Hofmann will give you 3 great ways to own your fabulousness right now. And then she'd pop right into her 3 hot tips for how to own your fabulousness. Isn't that great?
Nice.
Yeah, so we're putting the name of her book right there, right at the top.
Love it. And what's great about what you do too is everything that you teach people, it's so implementable, because
Yes.
it's you simplify it. And that's what I've always looked at is if things look too complicated, then I usually don't do it. So it's always the KISS method, right? Just keep it simple.
Well, yes, thank you. Not only keep it simple, but here's my other thing I'm really big on. Keep it in 5-year-old language and make it really, shall we say, just things that people can use quickly, right? So for instance, yesterday, somebody was in my speech recently, and he gave me what he did, but it was in this really complicated language, and it was real heady. And I said, oh, you mean help people integrate their teams better? Is that what you mean? He said, yeah, that's what I do. But it took him like 5 sentences before that to tell me that. So I really want to encourage you all to bring what you do to like 1 sentence.
Yes.
Keep it really simple.
And that's one of the problems that I see with a lot of new speakers is that they overcomplicate their presentation, and then they're trying to use big words to prove that they're the expert. And what you do is you just lose the crowd. So I always tell people, right, talk as if you're talking to my 11-year-old and then my 90-year-old grandfather. And if both of them understand what you're talking about, you're good to go.
There you go. That's a brilliant way to say it. I love that. Keeping your language, and keep out the jargon. We don't need to know everything. And the other thing I want to say is, do your magic and don't tell them how. Like, you don't have to tell them all the secrets of everything you know. Yeah. I was talking to a woman today. She speaks on holistic leadership, she calls it. And it's leadership for mind, body, and spirit. And I said, well, here's the truth. Sometimes your corporate clients are not going to relate to that. But I say you go in, you work with them. She works with companies from, 2,000 to 8,000 people. I said, you go in, you go do it. You don't have to use the words holistic leadership. That may not be appropriate in some people's cases. And frankly, you can still be in front of them, get the gig, and do a great job.
Absolutely.
Right? But then maybe she'll go talk to, let's say a women's expo or maybe a more alternative or transformational group, and then she can use those words and they will love her.
Exactly. It's about adjusting to your target market. Who's actually reading it? And if it's in a journal or a magazine for your specific expertise, they will understand the jargon. But if you're doing it in, a newspaper, that is a big disconnect or whatever, right? Is that what
exactly?
Yeah.
You got it. And of course, and I know, but I'll tell you guys watching out there, I really want you to get focused. There we go. We're good. Okay, there we go. I really want you to get focused on what's key for you and how you can make your message so simple that everyone can understand you, because I want your magic to touch so many people.
Perfect, perfect. I love that. Now I know, and all my listeners know, that at the end, that my guest gives such an amazing giveaway, something that is just going to make them go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I get this." So, is there something that you would like to give the listening audience today, and even if you're listening to this recording for as long as it's good? Oh, it looks like we lost Jill for a minute. Maybe she'll be back. There you are.
Got you back. Hey, don't worry. I'm still giving you that special offer. Yay! So thank you. Well, yes, I would love to give you publicity crash course. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden I just blipped here. Hang on, bear with me. By the way, so let me just say, hey, I'm a professional. Things happen, okay? So
Yeah.
always, it's okay. Just correct yourself, smile, and move on. A couple things. One is, if you're interested to talk to me about the publicity course, please let me know. Happy to give you a great super deal on it because you're one of Tonya's peeps. So just let us know about that. And for more information, you can look at publicitycrashcourse.com. For more information, ask us about the special Tonya discount. That's one thing. Two is, I want to give you a great free gift, and that's the opportunity to listen to a downloadable audio, which gives you what I call 7 key points to powerful publicity, real things that you can use right away out of my 24 years of experience, easy PR tips. So that'll be yours. And what you do is go to what you do there, sorry about that, is go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. That's publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. And that's yours to learn and implement immediate PR success.
Yay! All right,
Yay!
everyone. So take advantage of that. Take her course also. It really is amazing. You won't want to miss it. And she does it all over the country. So there's usually a spot for you somewhere. Even if you fly in, it's well worth it. Every moment is so much nuggets that you take away. And then take advantage of her free offer. It's free. Why wouldn't you? Listen to it. I'm sure it's amazing. So thank you, Jill, for being here. And don't forget, too, Jill is going to be live and in person, because you will want to come and meet her live at the Public Speakers Conference. So you can go to Public Speakers with an S, conference.com, and not only can you see her fabulousness right there, but all the other speakers under the trainings tab, and then all the information about the event. It is a great hands-on, get to know, let's figure things out event. And that's what's exciting. Even if you're not wanting to be a speaker yet, it gives you business training. It's not just about being a speaker. So even if you're just in business and you're like, I don't know where to start my business, here's people who can teach you real information and real implementable information that you can walk away with and actually start to really explode your next year. So it's June 14th through the 17th. So go to the website, and right now, using a special coupon code, put Tonya's TV show in the coupon code and you get $100 off. So go to publicspeakersconference.com, $100 off, put Tonya's TV show. All right, so take advantage of Jill's offer, and then follow her on social media, and definitely join in anything that she does, because you see, she's a gem. So thank you, Jill, for being on today. I appreciate your time, and I definitely want you to be back on soon.
I'd love to, Tonya. You're a gem too. Back at you, darling.
See you in June. See everybody else in June. Bye.